is the producer.
Great job.
I only saw you PTZ on camera once.
Caesar, you can use our
I moved it because the moving one
code LV.
There
3384
was nowhere to
on
cut to.
NAB's website to get a free pass. And I chatted you the code.
Awesome.
Michael.
All right, we're just going to wait for Mike, and then we're going to do our
Chris will have
broadcast.
Audacity is open,
if
so
we can
like
fix that.
if you're like recording, like
Nice. Awesome.
I got that open.
Chris Science saw himself in the B-roll from NAB last year.
Yeah.
Hey, are you coming again?
Legend has it that Paul and Tess will be there. We sure will. Let us know in the chat if you're able to make it this year. It's kind of one of those things where there's a lot of people that, you know, make it a vacation out of it almost. If you're like a tech junkie and you're super into this stuff, you will meet people that you'll become friends with for sure. Especially if you're in our community, they tend to hang out together from last year at the show.
Yeah.
So it's worth it, I feel.
It's
to take
totally
a little
worth it.
vacay time, even if it's just 2 days, like 4-day weekend or something.
I mean, for a lot of people, it's not even a vacay. It's just work.
Right. But I mean, for people that like, it's not work, so they can't.
Yeah. Well, I understand that.
Get
Yeah.
paid to come.
I mean, the more in depth you are in the industry, the more and more work it is. So, for example, just meeting that many different people in the short amount of time is like an incredible value for so many people. But also, for those folks who might not be in the industry, but being able to see that many companies get your hands on that much hardware.
Yeah.
Without the
in such a
hat.
short amount of time. It's crazy.
Amazing. Hank, I think you're talking about the Streaming Idiots meetup. And let me just go over this really quick.
See, now you
for
can move
those
like
of you
that
that
way.
are planning to come to the Streaming Idiots meetup on Tuesday. If you need to leave the hall for something and not come to the event until 6, that's fine. That morning, the morning of our event, it's a happy hour technically. We will be given as hosts badges, special badges for the attendees of our meetup. So during that day, we're going to have people either visit our booth or one of the sponsors' booth to pick up their badges for that happy hour. So that's kind of how it's going to work. Again, make sure you register.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. All right. So here we go, guys. We're going to start the podcast and get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PTZOptics podcast. My name is Paul Richards, and I'm joined with Michael Luttermoser, Tess Protesto, and Melissa McCormick.
Welcome to the Post-Show Podcast with your hosts, Paul Richards, Tess Protesto, and Michael Luttermoser. Let's talk shop.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, broadcast engineers,
Well,
audio
junkies.
visual experts.
Yeah.
And NAB attendees.
Yeah.
and victory
Good
to
one.
us. We got the podcast back up.
We got the podcast up and running. Things are looking good. You guys might have saw a little bit of coolness over there in the studio.
It's slowly moving.
Very slowly moving on a rail
But
system.
surely.
Slowly but surely.
We're working on showing that off in a upcoming video soon. But let's talk about NAB, what we're most excited about.
Yeah.
I've been to the NAB show for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's changed quite a bit. You know, the NAB show still to this day, though, has a huge hall dedicated to radio,
Yep. North Hall.
North Hall, which kind of blew my
Elvis
mind
Duran
because, like,
was
even
there
like
last
6
year.
years
Was
ago,
he?
I was like, really, this much space just for radio?
Yeah.
So things are changing a lot. It's so funny because you got to think about this for a second. All right, there's a humongous hall for radio, right? There's a tiny little pavilion for esports. Seems a little funny,
And same
right?
with podcasting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting, but they might be thinking the same thing. Like, how is there 3 other halls for broadcasting? Now, maybe freaking huge, but
Well, also with broadcasting, it's like a lot of different platforms. So everyone's on a different platform. So radio itself, it's all just on radio. With broadcasting, you can broadcast anywhere.
yeah, then there's online broadcasting and then cable
yeah.
television. and
Exactly. So like you can broadcast anywhere. With radio, you were only strictly like radio.
It's radio's radio. Yeah.
Well, it
Radio's
was only,
radio.
what, 3 or
Except for
4 years
satellite.
ago, I was there and there was no Facebook Live, right? Like YouTube Live at that point
Mhm.
was like a strange thing. It was like, what are you doing with YouTube Live? Like,
It's like brand new.
what's that? Like, we live stream on television or whatever. You know, like at the seriously at the NAB show, it was like YouTube Live. Like that's for no one even knew what it was for, right? Now it's like a staple. I think, for a lot of businesses, especially small, medium
And now
businesses.
like the new one is LinkedIn Live.
Yes.
So now like instead of it's Facebook Live or YouTube Live, it's now all the way through LinkedIn now.
I mean, let's zoom forward 10 years for a second. All right. So like the radio probably is getting smaller and smaller. There's nothing wrong with radio. I'm just saying I could see that happening. And then Facebook has their own pavilion now, right? There's a Facebook pavilion. I think there's like a Google area of some sort. And I think Microsoft, there'll be like a Microsoft area where it's
Most
like
likely.
LinkedIn, but not just LinkedIn, but like Azure, or whatever their cloud service is. And then Amazon, right? I honestly think that all of these giant tech companies want in on the streaming, and that's incredibly new. So like these big, excuse my French, big ass tech companies aren't sure like exactly where they fit in at this NAB show. Like, do they care that much? Like, does Amazon really care about the NAB show? They drop Twitch regardless of, they're not
They have TwitchCon.
like they have their own show. They're not like waiting for the NAB show to release their next product. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost as if the live streaming world has outgrown NAB. NAB is still incredibly important, especially for professionals. And like, if you want to be ahead of everybody, you go there. Like, if you want to see everything under one sun, you go there. Like, if you want to, in a world that's like on fire, burning fast, if you want to like get in there and get in the kitchen, that's where you go. But I still think it's moving so fast that literally NAB doesn't necessarily encompass everything. And there's certain companies like Amazon, sure, they're like there, but like Amazon doesn't come and be like, we're at NAB. They don't buy a giant booth. Like, they don't really. Like, and esports seems so underrepresented in NAB. Now we're going to be talking about it on the main stage. It's going to be talked about, but it's not like it doesn't have the presence that I feel like the real world has.
I thought esports has its own pavilion this year.
There is an esports pavilion,
Okay.
right? So like it's starting,
Yeah.
right?
We're going to visit there, by the way.
It's starting to
On the
get
IRL
bigger
stream.
than what it like.
And like Facebook
was.
got their own pavilion at one point too. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, here's the Facebook pavilion. Now esports has a pavilion. I don't think YouTube has a pavilion. Google has like a Google Cloud area. I think
Yeah.
in South Upper. Microsoft is going to be there, and we had to like pull teeth to try to get some LinkedIn people to talk to us. And
Still pulling.
we're still
really hard.
pulling as hard as we can. We think we're going to have
we think
somebody.
We caught one.
You think you
Yeah.
got?
I
You
think
think
we've extracted
did
one.
you catch a LinkedIn Pokemon?
Maybe.
They're tough to catch.
Yeah, Microsoft people are very tough to like catch or get information out of. Saying like, "Hey, can I interview?" No,
Yeah, I have to
like-
talk to 17 bosses and then maybe.
you
But
might get to Bill Gates.
so there's the industry. The takeaway here is the industry is moving so fast that literally it's somewhat underrepresented by the new players, in my opinion. We're doing our best to kind of meld the worlds, and like IRL streaming. Like here's a big one. Like LiveView is a huge company, right? And there's tons of people live streaming mobily all the time. But like I was talking to LiveView about it, and they said like us and like a couple other people were the only people mobile streaming at NAB, and they're like, this year we expect a lot more. So it's funny how a show like this, like 2020, I think is going to be when things start catching up. But we'll see. We don't know. I mean, will there be a bunch of esports live streamers there? Maybe. It's not like going to be like CES, which we've been to, and is a jumble of a cluster blunk that I can say. But I will say that NAB, there is no better place to go if you're interested in streaming and broadcasting. So they've got it that much in spades, and it's a big, humongously all-encompassing show. So you can go to the radio side, you can go to the podcasting side, you can go to the Facebook side, the esports side, the camera area.
Or all of it. Everything.
There's so much. I mean, there's
Whatever floats your
cloud.
boat, really.
It's
It's like
all
whatever
there.
you're interested in. Even if you're not interested in, you can find out more information about it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think we should lay this out there first for our podcast listeners. We are in Central Hall. PTZOptics and Stream Geeks, Huddle Cam HD actually, will be represented in Central Hall, booth C3326. I'll say it again so you can jot that down. C3326. Put us on your map. Little commercial.
I think a lot of people. Wow, you should.
Thank you very much.
You should think about a career in that.
Promoted by Test
I like my
Protesto.
career. I'm good.
Promoted by Test Protesto.
I think that a lot of people break it down because there is so much. They break it down by hall. because that makes sense. Like, all right, we're going to do Central
Today.
Hall today,
Yeah.
South Hall tomorrow. And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of people, I think the people that do get the most out of it are the ones that stroll and actually talk to the people at the booths. Like, all right, I use your PTZ cameras. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. This feature, that feature. And that's what we go for, is to talk to the end users and be there. A lot of people like to get a face to face. That's difficult to do sometimes in today's world of like click on Amazon and buy.
I mean,
And
yeah.
like, who are the people who actually manufacture this item? You know, like who are the people who support it? So that's a good value. And then the people that do walk around and talk to everybody, the day's gone. You know, so they chop it up by hall. They skip the radio hall, go right to Central.
Well, if they're in our industry.
And then they go to South Halls, where all of most of the software companies are, right? And then South Upper is everybody else who couldn't fit in the South Lower because the place is so huge. And Central's humongous too.
What's in South Hall? Software.
Well, Blackmagic is in South Hall.
So is New Tech.
So is New Tech.
They're right next to each other.
Adobe.
Yeah.
It's supposedly supposed to be kind of like the software area, but it's like probably one of the best halls. So Blackmagic got like the front row. Red Camera was there last year, but they pulled out, or maybe 2 years ago they pulled out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used to have a great booth.
Here's a tip from
movie
the
theater.
chat, and one of, I think, the best tips. If you're headed to NAB, wear comfortable shoes.
Yep. Definitely wear comfortable shoes.
It's a lot of walking, and that's very true, Hank.
So you're going to have to get around. Now, wear comfortable shoes. Look out for the happy hours around 4 or 5 o'clock. That way you can have a beer. It definitely lets some of the pain off the feet if you're on your feet all the time. Our booth, by the way, in Central Hall has double padded carpet. So it's a nice place to chill and hang out. We also have a couch. The couch is always fun.
We do have a couch.
We spared no expense.
There's going to be a lot of new
Seriously.
products announced. That's the other thing too, is that like a lot of companies save their best products to release at NAB. We're going to have a few ourselves to release, so that's cool.
Hey, Petra. Thanks for saying hi.
What else?
It's a good time.
It's a good time. I will say Saturday and Sunday there's a pre-NAB show, so if you do come early, the JB&A show is at the Super Lucky Spin. And we're all invited to the New Tech meetup, which is
Is it the same place that
Sunday
was last
night,
year?
the same place, Super Lucky Spin, upstairs. Kind of have to go around the escalators past the Super Lucky Spin wheel. And everyone's invited, so please come. We'll be there.
Couple other things. We will be doing daily giveaways from PTZOptics booth that both people who are attending the show physically and virtually can participate in. You can head to ptzoptics.com/giveaway to enter 4 giveaways, 4 days. And yes, definitely take advantage of that.
And
3
then
of the days will be cameras.
Tess and I, by the way, were invited to host the NAB show. And so they said, all right, guys, we want you to host the show. We have an open hour every day of the show, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And they were like, what do you guys want to talk about? And so we're going to talk about LinkedIn Live. We're going to talk about high school broadcast clubs and what they're doing. We're going to talk about esports and Twitch. We're going to talk about church production and church live streaming. And then we're going to talk about live streaming high school sports. 5 topics plus one more, Ripley or something. There's one that I'm hosting that I don't even know about yet. So I'm
But
looking
you
forward
will
to
learn.
that. I will find out
You'll
soon
get a
enough.
crash course in it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. So there's all that. And we're going to have lots and lots of things to do, obviously. Our schedule is pretty insane, Tess. Do you want to break down the schedule?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's where you can catch us live. You'll get emails live for our live show at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Thursday of the show. Though Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got a little extra content for you at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be hosting live views broadcast content, doing an IRL stream and a stream from their booth within that hour. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is also when we will be taking it to the main stage at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's in between North and Central Hall. If you'll be there physically, the stage is in the main lobby right next to the food court in the Starbucks.
Yes. So that is the main stage as well. So
Isn't
that's
that a
great.
bonus too? Isn't our booth by Starbucks?
It is.
That is
Yeah,
always a
but there's
bonus.
always
Yeah.
like a crazy like mob.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. But like also if you think, grab a coffee and come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab a coffee. Come on down.
Come on down.
Also, I believe Wednesday, Tom Sinclair is hosting his Streaming Idiot show from our booth at 12 p.m. And on Tuesday evening, that's either Tuesday or Wednesday, I have to verify.
Tuesday.
And then Tuesday evening is when we are having our happy hour / Streaming Idiots meet up
Yes.
at 5 p.m. Though we have
Ooh.
the place till 8.
8, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Fancy.
Wild.
Fancy that.
Fancy.
So that's going to be pretty sweet, and that's a full schedule. Not to mention all the late night.
Chad says, "What's the wireless
Fun.
cable thing?"
What? How do you know about that? How does he know about that?
What thing?
I don't know.
No one's supposed to know about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
I cannot confirm or deny.
I just was like, where did that
Did
come from?
we talk about that?
I don't know
sometime?
what we did. Who knows what we did?
All right. Well,
Thank you, Fabu, in Timor-Leste. Do you know where that is?
South America?
South America.
Fabu Antonio.
Thank
you for joining us. 3 a.m. there. Wow, you stayed up
Wow. Now, by the way, if you can't make it to NAB and you're in Europe, these guys are going to be heading to Amsterdam for IBC, right? It's going to be a fun show.
late. Woo! Catch Michael and I overseas if you're in the Europe area,
How excited are you guys about that?
in a
Stream
European
Geeks
country.
European vacation. No.
When are you
we're
guys
working on
going?
Well, we might try and squeeze in a vacay after the fact. When in Rome, as they say, or Europe.
When are you guys going?
I believe it's
September?
September.
Nice.
Yeah, September.
That's
So
a good time to be there.
You're going to get to meet some Stream Geeks and PTZOptics folks.
Wow.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fun. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been so much fun. We're excited for NAB. I hope you are too. PTZOptics.com/NAB if you want to get updated on everything we're doing. And we hope to see you there. Bye, everybody. Peace. All right. Boom. Pretty good, guys.
It didn't die.
Didn't die. Everything's working. Everything's good. There is just one thing that we messed up.
What?
The virtual audio cable wasn't set
The
up.
booth
It was
cost in
installed.
Vegas. Yes, that is. It is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Makes Fifth
The-
Avenue in New York City rent seem cheap for a booth at NAB.
Yeah. A booth at NAB, and by the way, that's for like 4 days. It's not even, like-
Indonesia. Wow.
just think about how crazy is that? Like we're paying like
Timor-Lester's in
$40,000 for 4 days, $10,000 a day. It's like you could definitely have like a shop in Madison Avenue, for like a month or two.
But hey, we're heading all the way into Indonesia.
Woo!
That is
Yeah,
certainly.
You're probably the farthest
And
away.
he said he liked the show, meaning he's like a repeat viewer. Which
Wow,
is really
you get
cool.
up that early. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
I would be in
Wow.
bed.
That's the power of live streaming, folks.
you can watch
Indonesia.
I'm in bed.
I mean,
That's awesome.
too. You can watch when you're in bed. Too.
And thank you everyone that's been supporting us on Twitch. We just got our first Twitch payment, which we were all just like,
Redux
what?
and spam, 200 bits.
Thank you so much. We actually
That's Chad.
made, just to give you guys an idea, I think it was like $130. I think that was our first ever payment from Twitch, but we were like, wow, this actually, I'm not like, we could all like quit our jobs and start streaming on Twitch or anything, but it was just funny. They were like, I think we might have got paid one other time because I remember the bosses being like, where is this coming from? Twitch Interactive. What is that? I'm like, those are our fans and our friends in the chat room who are hooking us up.
For being real.
Thank you. So that's cool. And Melissa,
Have a great weekend.
once the show's over, I'll show you how to do this virtual audio cable thing. Because basically when I went in here and I added the audio output to that, it was like, do you want to